welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel. And in this one we have the rebuffed Volibear, being tested out by quite a few people in high elo, with varying degrees of success and a lot of different build paths. In this one we have a nice spicy game where we actually have a 4v5 that we have to carry. Now, if you are interested in all these jungle fundamentals and how to really improve to become the best jungler, my bootcamp ticket sales are now live. With that, you will have 1 week long, full of lectures, bootcamp event, followed by guest speakers, maybe a King Styx, a Scrub Noob if we can get him, some Lano knowledge for you all, plus a whole bunch of other things. Nice will show up, Phalaris will guide you through all your clears, drills, coaching, fun games, Q&As with me, anything you could want, all in that bootcamp. Tickets are now on sale. Link in the description below as well as the pinned comment. I really hope to see you there, and we're making this a strong jungle event for everybody who signs up. Not to mention there are giveaways and raffles for free coaching for those of you who buy tickets. Alright, runes on your screen now. I actually lost my train of thought, so I had to just stop and start the recording. PTA page with Sorcery Secondary. I'm still very much in the I will Ultimate Hunter page because I just prefer their playstyle with the Titanic. Tiamat Titanic as your second sort of go-to. You can go Chem Tank first in that build as well as Divine Sundra. But E start, and now you'll notice because of the 2-second buff, look at this will be up more frequently. So what you can do here, start E, you can pull the blue out, you can smite the Grump, and you can yeet down another E. Now we could do this before, but obviously 2 seconds in a clear, that's a long time, and if you're joining the bootcamp, Phalaris will explain that to you. Now, in this game, because we're going to need a bit more damage, we will go a more classic Divine Sundra build. Obviously, all the fighter items are being reworked in the next patch, so that might change things a little bit, but however, I do not think a Divine Sundra, Sterix Gauge, Zhonya's build path is really going to shift Volibear's, win rate that drastically for those of you who enjoy that. Now, we're dragging off the Wolf Camp. We want to keep our passives as much as possible, but obviously with a full clear, there's not always much you can do to get to the Raptor Camp in time. We're going to go for a standard 5 camper here, and I do think with Volibear, with these kinds of champions where you can do a 5 camp quite efficiently, it's still the best way to go. Now we have a Kayle mid lane, so obviously hyperscaling. We have a Shen going permafisting with a Draven top lane. That's not fun for a melee. And then we have a Jinx Janet versus a Karma Yin. Now, if the enemy jungler starts on the bottom side and is sequencing up, Volibear's power is contained in this moment because you can basically fight anybody. You can fight almost anyone, any jungler in the game, and feel very comfortable doing so. Q, W, E. There's no need for the 6 camp if the enemy jungler is sequencing down and there's nothing to be done. You can 100%. We see the Lee Sin showing up in the river here. Full on, unload everything. PTA proc, make him burn his flash. Don't overcommit though because mid has price. Mid's rotating up here, so don't overcommit to that. We did not really have the Shen Draven fully committed to that, obviously. So the Lee Sin there, what do you gain from that? Nothing. It's a stupid play. Should be tracking the Volibear, should understand these things. We see Draven going back to base here with no flash. Also, Volibear now knows Lee Sin showed with the red buff 12 CS. Where's he gonna go, guys? Where's he gonna go? Well, obviously back into his jungle. Take the crab, regenerate a little bit, no flash. Let's show up and take it to his face. And what's he gonna do? Nothing. There's nothing he can do. First blood. Volibear mains, please look to be a bit more aggressive than you are. Yeah, we can 6 camp. Yeah, we kind of gankers. But if there's no gank, you're so potent in that 1v1. If someone makes a mistake like that, punish it, kill them, and take their stuff. Now, Kayle is shoving, pinging MIA. We're going to go and try and gank top lane again because we know that the Draven has no flash. Obviously, if he backs off here, body language is huge. The Draven's kind of screwed here. Expat who's basically just going to say, look, I'm going to zone you, I'm going to hold this. If you push up, Volibear will kill you. Now, in this situation, we killed the Lee Sin, okay? We killed him. We know he started red side. We know he burned his flash. Where's he going to go next? He must try do something down on this side. He's going to have a second tier Krug spawn. You have this 2v2 on the bottom side here. You know Volibear has a second tier Grump. And that's why as Volibear, you kind of want to make sure you're down here and be present for this. Should the jungler show up, as we can expect. 2v2. Flash for a flash. Doesn't quite kill it. Okay, so Lee Sin shows up board hopping over the wall before seeing this dive. Jinx is still able to get 2 kills around. And bless her soul, I think she's dead. She can try, but she's still going to die. Now, that's the thing, right? You're going to get your second tier Grump here, which is absolutely really, really huge. There's no point taking your tier 1 Krugs and not being present for this play, because if the lane's a little different, you can at least be there to rotate and affect that fight. And that's kind of the logic behind, look, I killed the Lee Sin, took his Grump, took top crab. He's 100% bottom side. I need to be there to cut him off. It's more valuable than one tier 1 Krug camp, right? Also, you can full sequence again all the way up. So Jinx now has left the game. If she rage quit because he held this wave, that's pathetic, but it's EUS, so you expect it. Or she's German and she has Vodafone, in which case you couldn't control it. I don't know which one it is. Nonetheless, she is gone. So how do you play in the situation? 4v5, you have no AD carry. There's no ways you can lane against a Karma Jhin as a Volibear Janna. I mean, maybe there is a way, but it's not something I'm interested in, or interested in figuring out. So, Janna rotates to the top lane, Vex shows up and kills her. So now you're thinking, well, this is kind of doomed. Kayle rotates though, Shen can get the taunt off, we throw out our E to try to get the slow and the stun, perfectly done, rotate, kill. Now, this is where things get interesting, this is where things get fun. You know, Lee Sin, after the whole bottom lane sequence, would have had to fall back to his red side, because we know those camps are going to be up. You are going to have to find a way to farm, cut off Lee Sin, give up objectives, but be present for every single fight, because the one thing that they have over you, numbers advantage. So you got to get yourself infused as much as you can, which means no farming, please. I mean, farming's good, very, very good, but you can still try and get a lot of things done with activity. At this point, we've got 3 points in the queue, we have ult available, we know he has no flash. Use that R to basically pause and stretch out your Q timer, get that stun into a taunt, free monies. Back to base, all right? You're gonna lose the dragons. And obviously, rest in peace, Chemtech Dragon. This is just before it got hotfixed and removed. So Lee Sin's gonna take that 100%, there's nothing you can do about it. You're gonna have to find a way to float bottom lane, at least to depressurize, find a way to rotate to every single fight where you can get numbers advantage to get yourself as fed as possible, while also sequencing your camps. Let's see how we can do it, and honestly, a weak champion is not up to the task, and your build is going to have to be a bit more aggressive as well. So keep that in mind, because you don't want to go full tank here. You do not want to go full tank here. You could, because you have a Kayle, but it's a Janna and a Shen, so you need to do some damage, which means, oh baby, it's Zhonya's time, and Mejai's if you're really feeling spicy, although that's a little bit more risky in these kinds of games. You kind of want reliant damage, especially if you're getting fed, but could be interesting. Could be interesting to run that in these situations. Lee Sin shows up, Q's on the Janna, Shen ult comes through, very aggressive play, completely disrespecting where the Volibear could be. Golly gosh, 69 makes the Expedo ultimate button press. This dude's gonna get a lot of free time. So the Shen will help in this situation. The Grump control is huge. Can you stop this play being taken? No, so get the Grump quickly. Finish your smite. Now we can hold the wave here. That's all you're looking to do, is hold the wave a little bit. When Lee Sin makes an aggro play thinking, haha, 4v5 I can win, you punish him forward. He's level 5, you're level 7. A lot of that has got nothing to do with the AFK. You see, the whole early phase of the game is just Volibear making great plays, using the champion's strength and buffs to remove the enemy jungle from the game. So none of that would have changed, right? Hold this, push it, just take all the CS as much as you can. But you don't want to stay here now, because if you stay here, what's going to happen is Lee Sin is going to take all your topside camps, he's going to dive top lane, he's going to dive mid lane. You can't lane, you still have to jungle, and that's the trick. Right, Faji and Sheen completed, jungler boots of Ionians, and now we're going to try and secure this objective as best we can. I mean, that would be huge to take, as well as protecting your jungle. Move into your red side, control this red buff, Janna's not floating with you, Karma's also rotating, isn't as necessary. I would expect Jhin to just go bottom lane and solo farm and get plates. We'll see how his team plays around it, but Janna and Volibear can make a lot of things happen here. Red into Raptors, again, the classic case of, do I really need to worry about Krugs? No. Kayle's being doomed and gloomed by 2 people, so Volibear's going to finish this and rotate. We see Lee Sin as well. Kind of bide your time here. You could probably rotate before you finish your Raptors there. Okay. Let's see. We do have ultimate available, plus Kayle ult. I mean, that's just a lot of damage. You're stunning, you're Wing, you're Qing, you're flashing. That's a flash W as well. You see, keeping your distance as a Volibear sometimes is actually quite good, because you need to make sure your W is on the right target for you to sustain and heal, but when you're not maxing it, it's less of a focus for you. It's nice, and it's good to have, because obviously there's no other way to heal, but the main important thing is that you are positioning such that you do not die. In this case, we sacrifice that which needs to be sacrificed, and we make a good play. Could rotate a little sooner after the Raptors, but I will be honest, in this situation, even though it's a Grandmaster Challenger level player, pro player actually, I want to finish the camp as well, and a nice transitional rotation to the top gank here. I kind of want to finish that Raptor camp, I kind of want to finish that Grom camp in the same scenarios, right? You finish, you hold, you finish, you force the fight, and by doing that, you kind of bait them in, right? They think they have numbers advantage, and you're just waiting in the wings, use your spells, and kill everybody. I mean, that was a lot of, you saw that, right? The AD growth, 0.5, 17% over what it was, per level. That's absolutely huge. Plus the 2 second on the E, which means it's now at 9.29 seconds. Divine Sundera is complete. 5 plates to the Jhin though. That is something you have to focus on and understand that Jhin to catch is a little bit more tough. So if you're worried about Volibear in terms of, hey, he doesn't have Camptown, can you actually physically rotate? Can you actually gap close? Watch. You can. And that's why I still love my build. That's why I still think and will stand by my build of Divine Sunder, Titanic, into tank, maybe with the Demonic Embrace if you Giga Fed at the end, because the AP conversion with AD is hilarious. But there's a lot of versatility. You play the Volibear build, you enjoy. I don't really like Sterix at all. Well, the next patch. If you haven't, if you're not aware of what I'm talking about, that will go live next week in the patch notes. We're taking a crab here. We have a Shen ult. We get this done. We hit the E. He is now zoned. All right. We're just kind of positioning in a way that means Lee Sin, if he goes in, he dies. Use your ult to get back over the wall. We kill the Vex. Very, very important that we do that. Use your E again to position, zone, and split. Focus the person on the upside. Jhin has to run away. Beautifully played. But again, blue team is playing with an arrogance. Hey, it's 5v4. We can win this. And if you're the jungler, just make sure you're positioning yourself in a way that negates that numbers advantage, which he's done perfectly. Draven, of course, another 3 plates top side, but at the end of the day, my son, you are, in fact, an ADC top lane. And right there, that was your mistake. However, I did do a lot of scouting for some other video I'm doing for my main channel, and there was a Volibear very, very, very high up the ladder. He also went against a double ADC comp, and he got absolutely smashed because he just got Giga kited, even with Chemtank, even with Blue Smite. So, you know, you got to play it well to the point that you can actually do what he's doing, you know, and it starts level 1. You don't know you're going to have an AFK, you don't know you're going to be at a disadvantage, so make sure those early games are absolutely pristine, because you really can abuse the early strength of Volibear to get to these points. Kayle dies mid lane because his numbers advantage as expected. Can you stop this? Nope. So make sure you control your camps. Karma does Q over so that they know you're there. Just give this. Just give this. You lost a Herald, you lost a Dragon, you're going to lose the next Dragon, that's fine. The point is to maintain gold advantage overall, and a huge amount of resource stockpiling, if you will, on yourself. Because you want the Kayle to get 16, you want the Kayle to get 11, you want the Kayle to get 16. That's where the spike is. You want to peel for her, make sure she can be backline, and when you dive in to engage, to disrupt, you're actually doing something. Surviving as well as doing a lot of damage. So, give up that mid, don't panic, Mr. Mannering, don't panic, although that's a Dad's Army reference, and I don't think anyone here was remotely alive when that was on TV. You lose your blue, expected. You lose a dragon, expected. We'll be 11 after the Grump. Grumpulicious, baby. We'll give you HP and mana regen as well. Plant gets hit, so we see this if we have any vision control, and the Cloud wins Quicken. Oh, we didn't actually get 11. Pretty damn close. Unfortunate. Not bad. Happens sometimes. Get a little overzealous, you're like, and then you don't get 11. I apologize for not innately knowing the exact experience spike. I mean, it's easier to tell in-game because you know and can learn the experience spikes of the camps, but in replays, I can't see. It doesn't give me the number. Right, can we fix that? That'd be really nice to see, actually. Because in replays, then we can make a lot more, hey, this is what you have in-game, but what can you do? Bottom lane Crab, though, is an absolutely hugely important crustacean to snack. In this game, the Red Smite is huge because it's good against a Draven, who you can actually gap close on, and he does a lot of damage to you. It's good against a Lee Sin always, and it's good against a Vex, who typically eats onto you as well. The Blue Smite would be better for Karma Jhin, but you gotta flex it, right? You gotta flex it. Either way, look at the gold. You know, you're up 1.3. We see Kayle split pushing here, and there's no mid lane. You could push out mid lane a little bit more, take the crab, and then come down here. So I think that's something to look for. Push a little bit, cut down, take, and you could be in the same situation. But if you're worried about the fog of war, traps, and so on, just go for the vision control first and foremost, and then shatter your Kayle. So look at this, vision control. Karma's out of position. Pull down the E, hit the Q, boof, smack, dead. Beautiful. Punish bad positioning. Always. Cut this wave. Okay? Alright, here we go. Vex is setting a trap with the Lee Sin, doesn't really matter. We stun. Good ult by the Janna. We do get kicked, it doesn't really matter. That wasn't meant to rhyme. Keep auto-attacking, auto-attack with W. We do have ultimate as well. Force him to flash that direction, which is just weird. He's gonna Q you and then ward hub back. And the Kayle's not going for things. Shen's gonna ult here. Jhin, was machst du? Kayle went way too deep, so that's unfortunate. That's expected at this point. Can we get there? Jhin is the... Jhin tilts me. Jin's movement speed as a melee, fightery, tank, jungler enjoyer really tilts me. Now, we didn't get the bottom lane tower. That was a good pick, obviously, by the blue team. Hello, Jinx. AFK son of a bitch. I should not get demonetized for that, but, you know, AFKs, come on. At least if you win this, it's a good feeling. I love winning 4v5s like this, and you can't always do it. So in the games when you can, make sure you're taking the opportunity, because it's demoralizing for the enemy team, especially if we get them next lobby. With the Draven pushing this, all right, he's going to show here. We can expect maybe some sort of, there you go, blue movement into the area. Janna's being caught out. Rotate, stun, kill. Janna survives. A little bit lucky, but sometimes it's important to be skilled and lucky. Good automatic flash Q animation cancel into the E auto W combo, and then another W to snack her to finish her off. Jhin has a lot of range here, so be very cautious. Use your E for shielding. If you miss it, it's fine, but don't go too deep. We get kicked back into the tower under the E. Nice use of the stopwatch because we have the Zhonya's. Kael's now able to finish off. Pull down the E, and she's taking the tower force. Finish it off. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. You see? Take. You plan on taking. Don't care about those. They're too far away. Geographically, they're just too far away from any play you might need to rotate to. In this case, same thing. Rotate, make a play, use your mechanics, make another play. Here, I like this a lot because I'm just going to pause it for a second, because what happens is in games where you have a physical lead yourself, no one else matters. Only you, right? You have this lead. You can fall back into the jungle, fall back to this, reset, push this out, and so on. But when the death times are still really, really short, and you kind of definitely want to win the game 4v5 before it gets to like a real team fightery compy thing, setting these traps are very, very important, okay? Again, QR, hit the Q, and then you can animation cancel with your E and your W and your autos, and then push this next tower. Kael's 11, we have a Janna. Let's go, baby. In this game, for the AP threat, Force of Nature is really good. I love Deadman's and Force of Nature for your tank itemization. If you're in a normal game here, the Spirit Visage could be really, really useful, honestly. Just for the shielding and the healing from yourself as well as the Janna. Really big shield. So it's not always about the pure magic resist, but if you need the movement speed and just the raw magic resist and the stacking, get it. But in this case, it's really only the Vex, and you're going to be kind of dealing with her first hand. So the most of the damage you're going to get is AD. So in that case, Spirit Visage will be very, very good. However, we need to carry the game. So, Starag's Gauge it is. To the top side, take the red buff, no ADC to steal that. We see the Draven on the top side, but Akama is out of position, setting a trap for Lee Sin. We get ulted by the Shen, and you would have noticed that there was a kind of weird lock-on thing where if you're curing someone else with Volibear and you right-click and they show up, but you'll just attach to them. Good bubble, good stun, good death. I mean, just force the action. Have you noticed? As soon as someone's out of position, force the point, force the point, force the point. I think he's tilted. I think they're annoyed. But look at the damage with a Divine Sunderer and a Zhonya's. It is absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. That's why it's so important with Volibear to be ahead. When you're behind, you can go the sort of Chemtank Titanic or Chemtank Sterex if you want a little bit of oomph. But please make sure you're ahead. That's the most important thing. Always make sure you're ahead. Now, Herald is available. It's going to go away very, very shortly. In this case, it's very, very good to... You've taken the inhib. Team of 5 going to be getting those super minions. Kael is now stealing the red buff here. Like, you have one job. Don't die in this situation. Just fall back, get the Herald, use it for another power play. You know that the Dragon Soul is going to be coming up. It's not really a soul worth concerning yourself with, but it is going to bring forth the Elder Dragon. So you need to make sure that you have everything in the... You know, if you can't, for whatever reason, take the soul, that next Elder Dragon is basically your free win ticket. So you want to make sure you have a bigger lead, as much map control as possible, in a 4v5, such that when that does happen, you don't mind giving them 4 Drakes, because you get an Elder and you just win from it. That's what you really, 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 really want, if we want to go back to the 90s pops. Grump, Wolves, Sequins, there's no Kael. So don't bite off more than you can chew here. If you can truly 2v5 and so on with the Janna in a lower elo game, do it. But of course, we're not in a lower elo game, depending on who you ask. So hold the wave. She's going to yeet that. I don't really want her to, but it is a Kael, so I kind of understand it. Activating the Herald here, I think that was maybe an accident, or just a decoy. Either way, I mean, you could push it down the mid lane. Okay, we get feared here, we get stunned. This is where you want to be very, very careful. But Shen ults us, we're able to flash, we hit the E there. Of course, we have a W, so we can heal off that if we hit another one. Doesn't matter, she's too far away. We zoned with our ultimate. Kale's able to do a fresh killing. Again, we don't go too deep, and we die. So, as you can see, even in these situations, this build, despite how fed he is squishy. You do get melted. You have to have great target selection. And that's unfortunate. And this started with the Kale, doing the red, being caught out, forcing us to be a bit more passive. If you are the Kale in this situation, please, just help your team out. Thank goodness we're not doing a video on the Lee Sin, because that guy needs some coaching. And mental coaching. Mental coaching too. So here, obviously, probably an accidental Herod. You don't want to waste it there. Careful here. I mean, the wave is pushed up. You don't have the minions to assist. It's just a blind fight. And as you can see, 5v4, they win if you don't play properly. Important to note in the situation. We are still 23 out of 26 KP. And if you want to carry 4v5, that's the way it's gotta be, my friends. Circus is completed. We're already on our way to more magic resistance. Alrighty. Scan it. We know that's done. We don't want them to get a Baron, so we will scan like a civilized gentleman. We see the Lee Sin mid. We see the Vex mid lane. We know they don't see us, at the very least, so we can trap. This is just really, really stupid. And this is what I've been talking about. Like, if this was a Chemtech Soul, how is that any different? You can't see, you face check, you die. Now, obviously, if you place a ward, you can see, yeah? And obviously, if there's no bush and it's a Chem zone, you can't see. So it's a really extremely difficult example of this. But my point more so is when people are saying, well, we get picked off on that map. It doesn't really matter. You're getting picked off anyway. But now it's a 4v5, and you do definitely win a 4v5. And again, look at the damage on that Q. The AD growth coming up absolutely huge in that situation. You don't need to worry about the backline here. Just zone the Lee Sin so that the peel is under control. Beautiful. That's it. That's it. Make picks whenever you can. Use your huge lead in these rough fights. But as you can see, Volibear is definitely strong when ahead. Volibear is definitely strong if you have a good early game. And Volibear is definitely strong if you need a bit of damage with some meaty tankiness. And you can win 4v5s with them easily. I have done it. This guy's doing it. Tenex. And for the buffs, again, for the builds, just a little cautious here. We don't quite have ultimate for another minute, so don't throw in this particular case. But you have a Fred Kale. You should be able to just make sure she can backline. For the builds, if you end up a little bit behind, Chem Tank is absolutely very, very strong. Full tank, you can do that. You can go Divine Sunder into full tank as well. I have my full live companion Volibear guide linked below if you want to learn everything there is to know about Volibear. That is a thing, over 10,000 words on the champion, all sorts of builds, all sorts of combinations, anything you might need that will all work even in the next patch. So go have a look at that if you're interested, but there you go. Kanavi, EU Kanavi, excuse me, showing us a 4v5 victory on the bear. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed and learned something a little bit different. Sometimes it's nice to see us win versus AFKs, win with the trolls. We did a LeBlanc intergame a few months ago, so it's nice to see, I think. Especially when you're low elo and you think, well, someone's always AFK in my games. How do I win? A good player in a low elo game will very much be able to win a 4v5. Just infuse yourself and play it appropriately. There you go. Streams are still live. Should be one on Wednesday, which will be tomorrow. Stay tuned for a lot more videos this week. Sign up to the bootcamp if you want all the giga knowledge you could ever need. And as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial. I'm not sure if I wanted to smile or frown.